doing a gum chewing review here today of Halo Infinite. This is going to be the campaign I'm reviewing. I've not played multiplayer, so I can't comment on that, but I finished this Tuesday night, I believe. Really good game. I'll delve into it. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and whatnot, and all that stuff. And there might be some spoilers in here, I'll get them out of the way quick. I'll kind of give you the story beats if you haven't played it. Beginning is the guy Atriox, who I believe them and the Banished are in Halo Wars 2. They might be elsewhere as well. I can't remember Halo 5 at all, really. I know I'm pretty sure you used two people, and some other Spartans are trying to track down Master Chief or whatever. But anyway, the beginning, Atri is like a battle going on. The Banish attacked the one ring, this Halo ring, I think. They attacked something, and Master Chief gets his ass kicked. The guy Atriox chucks him pit or whatever, and he's like floating in space. And this dude, they call him Echo 216, I believe. This guy, he gives his name at the way end of the game, but he picks him up in a Pelican. Eventually, Master Chief wakes up. He's like, we gotta go to this Halo ring. So you do a couple of missions before getting to the ring itself, to where the open world stuff comes into play. So you do those missions, and you come across another, spoilers here, another kind of Cortana. It's pretty much the same thing that was made a duplicate. Because I remember Cortana had to get the boot, they had to get rid of her, delete her, or whatever. Cortana's still in the game. I don't know if it's just memories or whatever. I don't think it actually fully is. So you're fighting the Banished, you gotta take back this ring. The Banished are working with the Harbinger, another person, and they're gonna do bad stuff. They're gonna destroy the universe. Crap. They want to release these things called the Endless, which are just alluded to. I don't believe you don't even see them. Although I guess you might, if that's supposed to be these things on this. Occasionally, these things floating around like cement blocks, and they have like symbols on it. Maybe those are the Endless. Like I said, honestly, the story wasn't really doing it for me, and that didn't really take away too much from the game. But there's the main guy, Eshkarum. He's the other brute. Atriox was the other brute who's supposed to be dead now. I won't spoil any of that stuff. And Cortana took him out because she destroyed their home planet or something. But when you land on the ring, and you gotta like pretty much help get control of the ring back while doing the main missions. And this, in my opinion, is where the game shines. The single player missions are still cool. You still get the indoor classic Halo look. This game does it's almost kind of a tribute to the Bungie games, especially the first kind of two, especially the original. This game shares a lot in common of visual look to the original, in my opinion. But graphically, it looks good. I'm playing it on Xbox One. I'm sure it looks even that much better on Xbox Series X, but it looks good. Pretty good draw distances. The indoor environments that you do play in have that great kind of like look to them. Nice colors as well, like a lot of purples and stuff. It looks nice. All the weapons look really nice. They all feel good to use as well. The vehicles all look good. All the character models look good. The aliens, the jackals, the brutes, the elites, the grunts, the hunters, a few others, I believe. Well, there's new enemies too that come into the fold. That kind of like robot type thing. There's some robots you're fighting. There's these other kind of wing things that might kind of be robots too. you get the weapon and you're trying to stop everything from happening. They're trying to fix this ring, I believe, and activate it because this ring's damaged. So you're dealing with that. The shooting's still good. I played on heroic, which might have been an issue. I ended up beating on heroic. I'll get into that a little later because I'm not. I know some people will kick this game's ass on even legendary. I'm not that person, but I do like to play it on heroic because it adds more difficulty and in my opinion, adds length to it. Although this game is longer because you're doing more shit. Now you finally get into the open world after a few missions, and the guy who helped Echo 216, I believe that's what they call him at first. He gives you his name at the end. I'll just call him that for now. He's kind of apprehensive. He's like, I don't want to go back there. We lost. They lost the fight to the Banished. Like I said, everybody scattered and everything else. Apparently, the Banished came in and kicked everybody's ass. The Banished is just a group of covenants that like broke off from the main group, and they're always spouting about fighting and all this shit. The gameplay is classic Halo gameplay, no matter who's making it, Bungie or was it 343. It's still classic shooting. You got to be smart on the hard, even on normal difficulty. The AI will be smarter. They'll try to flank you. They'll bum rush you, and they know when you're reloading, they'll come at you, and stuff like that. And they are perfect shots too. I don't know if they are normal, but on heroic, I swear that. And there's a ton of weapons. There's probably more alien weapons. You got your machine gun equivalent. I can't remember the names of all these things. I can remember more of the names of the Covenant weapons. We got a rocket launcher on the human side's rocket launcher shotgun, the Magnum pistol, the standard machine gun that's in all of them, the kind of machine gun with the scope, a regular sniper rifle as well. There's the Hydra, that's like the one with the missiles, the homing missiles. That one I do remember the name of. There's another kind of machine gun that has the iron sights as well. Is there any more? I don't know. But on the Covenant side, you have the Needler, the plasma rifle, the pistol, their sniper rifle. You get the Brute Hammer. You can get the plasma sword points. What else? The Ravager, which is that's the one where it launches things, and they're perfect aim with it when they're using it. There's another brute weapon. I think it's a brute weapon. It's like a snipe. It's like a one-shot kind of thing. It's like these giant spikes that you have to reload every time you use it. And there's all types of grenades as well. Electric grenades that will shock the guy. Will hit the ground and will shock whoever's near him. Standard frag grenade. And the plasma grenade. And there's also, I guess it's maybe a brute one. Kind of just you chuck it. It will also attach to people. And if these grenades attach to you, you're pretty much fucked. Either way, there's a lot of weapons. I won't, I'm not going to run down all. And there's vehicles as well. You got the Scorpion tank, the Warthog. The Warthog with the gun on it. Also the Warthog, I don't know what they call it, with the missile launcher on it. The Razorback, which just carries it. You can carry a bunch of guys in it. And there's a flying thing too you could use. I forget what it's called. And you have the Ghost, Banshee. Not a lot of Banshees in this game. The Ghost is there. The Wraith tank is there. Where's the the Phantoms, the Covenant kind of drop ships? They're in there too. You don't use those, but I can't remember the names of all. And the brute motorcycle type thing. I can't remember what that's called either. Like I said, there's a lot of vehicles to use. They all look good as well. Environments, like I said, look nice. The outdoor environments look nice. The indoor environments look really good. There's a lot to do in the open world. I think it's actually broken into sections, but I didn't journey off too far, so I didn't know if you could hit any invisible walls while trying to get to a new section. I believe you can though. But you kind of do like the Assassin's Creed or the Far Cry. You hit certain things, it opens up more things that you can see. So you can save Marines that have been captured, or just soldiers in general. You can do that. There are high value targets, which you can do, which range from grunts to brutes. It could be any one of them. There are the FOBs, the forwarding operation bases. I don't know what that stands for. Those are the kind of big ones that opens everything up. Then there's also Covenant kind of strongholds. I think there's 7 of those that you can take out. I did all those. So there's the high value targets and the rescue kind of missions as well. So there are things to do. There are like these other ancient kind of artifacts you can locate. They're like, hidden throughout the environment. I think there's 7. I think I found 2. You can find lockers that have skins that you can use on kind of for your character, especially if you play multiplayer. You can use them there for your guns and stuff. Those are hidden throughout. I mean, you can find those will pop up too. There are nodes because you can upgrade, so you can find nodes to upgrade certain things. You have your 4 different. You have your drop shield you can use that you get. These are things you pick up off of other Marines. That are dead, but there's a drop shield. There's the catch in this one's like the little grip hook you can use to grab things. You can grab enemies. You can grab ships and hijack them that way. You can grab an enemy and launch at them. Grab parts of the environment as well, a certain distance. So there's gameplay elements as well you can use in it. There's the shield. There's a little dash you have, and you have this other thing that's like a radar, so you can launch it and see enemies in that area, and you can upgrade all these things to make their cooldown shorter or expand the distance of the thing, stuff like that. And the little beacon type thing's nice because it will help you spot the Covenant, the elites that are camouflage, which is nice. And you have to use that in a boss battle towards the end too, which helps. But you have to keep doing these things, and then you don't have to do every one of the things. I still need to do some high value targets because after you end the game, it launches you back into the thing, and he spouts his line that he's been spouting since Halo 2, where he's like, "We gotta finish the fight." Like I said, the gameplay's fun. The combat is fun. It's satisfying. It's really satisfying because certain strongholds and stuff will have, and even some of the main missions will have a few where there's like soldiers that you're captured, UMSC soldiers that are captured. They're like attached to this like electrical thing, and you shoot the thing in the middle, and they get free, and they'll get guns. And the AI is good on both sides. They're friendly and enemy AIs. But a cool thing, I had this happen early, because not all the missions will, because some of the main missions will start, campaign missions will start outside and then go kind of in underground or indoors. But especially when you save Marines that are like a part of it, like the side mission, they'll come with you. So if you have that Razorback tank, I had like 5 guys in this thing, right? One in the driver's seat, even 5 or 6. And I brought them to the main mission, and they got out, and it was awesome. It was a nice battle back and forth between everybody. It was really cool. It was like 6 of, and I think there might have been 1 or 2 running behind as well. But it was a nice like 6, 7, 8, of you and the Covenant. It was a nice battle back and forth, and they do a good job of taking out enemies as well. There's also these things in the environment. They call them noob like cubes, I think. They're like all types. There's 3 different ones, and you can throw them and they explode. One will cause like a little fire. Another one will cause like electrical stuff. I forget what they're called. But you can also hit those with your grappling hook and bring them to you. They're actually nice. They're a good equalizer, kind of. They will kill you too, though, if you get too close to them. Like if they blow up too close to you. What are they called? I forget what they're called. They actually do have a name. But there's those things, part of the gameplay as well. But it was cool with those kind of like bigger scale battles. It was really cool, I thought, for sure. And every time you take over an FOB, you have points where you get a Valor, and when you do specific side missions and stuff, and main missions might give it to you too. I can't remember. It's actually be a long review, but it goes up, and you unlock new things that you can use at your base, the little bases. So you can when I got a Scorpion tank, this is where it got real fucking fun. When I got to the Scorpion tank unlocked, I bring that thing down. I go do these high value targets. I get a couple Marines on there with me. I'm going over there this is when you actually feel like a badass, and I'll get into this a little later too. I'm going in there with the tank. I'm shooting. The tank's fucking things up. They'll blow up the tank, but it does take some time, even on heroic, unless they are using their perfect accuracy to hit you with every shot. But that was fun. Like, I was having trouble with this one guy. I was going in there with a couple of Marines, but we were getting our asses kicked. And then I went about my business, did other stuff, and then came back with the tank, and I was just taking everybody out with the tank. But you can bring in a tank, a little Warthog, a little smaller vehicle too, a little kind of four-wheel ATV. I don't know the name of that one. The flying one I got from there. I think I unlocked everything with the Valor. And you could also get new weapons here too. And when you take out high-value targets, you get like special versions of each weapon, which is kind of cool. Oh, there's also weapons that I don't know what they're actually, I can't remember what they're called. They're not, I don't think they're the Forerunner things. But either way, there's like, throughout environments and in missions, there's things where it will reload kinetic weapons or like plasma weapons or your marine, soldier type weapons, whatever. A couple of their weapons are cool too. There's like I forget what they're called too, but they're pretty badass. One's like an electrical beam that the one flying things will use. That works very well. Like disintegrates the enemies after a little bit. And they have a couple other ones, like a heat wave, I think one of them's called. And I think there's definitely a third one. I don't know if there's more than that. There are boss fights in this game where there's actually a bar above the people. And most of the boss fights are right. They're not really a problem. The main missions are pretty fun, even though a lot of them take place indoors. Some start out, like I said, start outdoors and then go indoors. But now I'm going to get into kind of the end game scenario. So I stopped playing for a little bit because I just did, I threw in another game. But it was a part where you can't do outside stuff again, right? It's a classic part in the game where it's like, okay, you're pretty much strictly single player and strictly missions until you're done with it. And it starts off fucking awesome. You get out of the thing, you got to do these beacon things, whatever. You get to the one side, and then it's like called the road. So you got to get to the stronghold of the main bad guy, and that's really fun. The fucking classic Halo music kicks in from the original game. Join it, kicking asses, multiple vehicles, a couple of soldiers you can help out that will come with you. Fun, you know. So that was cool. I get inside, right? And I gotta do one wave. It's like an old, I guess they use this as like the Infinity is the thing called, I don't know if that's the ring name or whatever, just a giant ship, I don't know what it is, but so it's set up for like human soldiers, training ground. All right, I get to the first one, and then the main bad guy's running his mouth, and then a group comes. All right, fine, go through another one. Here comes another group I have to deal. He sends them out in like 3 waves, and this happens at least twice. It might happen 3 times, but I can't remember because I was getting so pissed. But you go through those, right? You go through those waves, and then you fight like his right hand man, which is an elite. That was actually kind of a cool boss fight. He was cloaked. It was a straight up boss fight, though. His shield went down, and that was it. It was a one-on-one fight, no bullshit. And then I fight the main bad guy, which once again, he had no help. But he had a thing where it was this classic fucking video game shit. This is where you come across the guy, more spoilers. Your buddy gets kidnapped at one point. The guy who rescued you out of space. They torture him. And he's got you bust down his shield, right? But then these things open, and it's attached to his shield, and it's hurting the guy. So you have to do this 3 times. You have to destroy 3 of these things, and you fight. And this guy was kicking my ass, admittedly. And like I said, I had on heroic. So I was getting pissed. I understand I'm not a fucking pro, So it's going to take some time on some of these boss fights. The first one before him actually only took me like 3 times. I'm getting annoyed because he has a shield go up. I gotta knock his shield down. And then at the end of it, he has a fucking brute hammer. And this is what fucking annoys me. I mean, I said before, you feel like a badass. Listen, let's be honest. You put that on harder difficulty, you don't feel like a fucking super soldier. You feel like a fucking 95-year-old, you can barely get out of bed. You're getting the shit kicked out of you. Hunters are moving faster than me. I'm supposed to be a badass Master Chief super soldier. Hunters are like 5 times my size. Not 5, like twice my size. The brutes are fucking huge. They're outrunning me. The guy's outrunning me with the brute hammer, and they do the thing where it hits the ground and it sends out a thing. He's hit me from halfway across the map. I don't even want to turn around to try to get a shot on him. He's kicking my ass, but thankfully I had the one plasma sword from the previous boss fight, so I fucked him up with that eventually. took him out because his shield keeps going up. It does this 3 times. Finally get past it. I'm like, all right, cool. And it just annoys me because, like, even some of the fucking elites were the original badass, and the hunters were always a fucking pain in the ass. But it's like, I don't feel like a super, and I'm not saying I should breeze through the fucking game, but for fuck's sake, I should be able to move a little bit faster than some of these things that are twice my fucking size. But that's just me, it's gripes, like I said, some people, I said, my fiance, I'm playing, I'm sure there's people who put these on the hardest difficulty and they kick the shit out of it. Well, whatever, I get past them, great. And I forgot, this is the insane part, is it was dragging on so much, in my opinion, this last set of missions, that I'd forgotten that there was this other person. I'm like, you might not even fight this one. The Harbinger or whatever. So I battle my three through that. Now I gotta go through a bunch more bullshit just to get to this other thing. So I'm fighting more enemies, going through sections. But the checkpoints are good, which I'll give the game. Even during the boss battles, the checkpoints are pretty solid. So I will say that's a bonus. And then there was this room with 2 hunters, and I couldn't, because you got to get behind the hunter, break off its thing, and then destroy its back. That's its weak part. I couldn't get behind the 2 of them. We were in a small room with these 2 of them. This was worse than the boss fight, because I tried to use the grip thing to get over them, but they would turn around. So they're so fucking fast, and their shots are so good, and they have the huge plasma cannons on their arm. Eventually, I take them out. And then I get to I think that was the last section before I get to the main boss fight. This is a bigger area, and more of the reveal. I wouldn't say the story reveals come out and stuff. And then this thing, the Harbinger, I'm fighting this one. And she has these shields keep coming down. Like, you bust her up once, shields come down. And then a bunch of enemies come at you. You have to take them out, then you do it again. Take them out, do it again. That was like 3 times too. And weapon eventually gets a name too. The other Cortana. It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why don't you help me out? You're getting help? I'm not being helped. So that actually didn't take that long though, to be honest with you. But I was like, really, we're doing another 3-pronged level thing here. Shield goes up, knock down shield. Shield goes back up, Eventually you take it out. And all the waves of enemies that come in between. And I'm like, okay, it's finally over. But in my opinion, this dragged to me. Maybe other people didn't. Maybe it did, but I thought this drag. Even if this was on the easiest difficulty, I would think it was just taking too long. And part of it was too, I wanted to get back in the open world because that is fucking awesome. And the main missions are cool too. The open world shit was perfect for Halo. They finally, it's like in the vein of Far Cry. But it works so well. It didn't ruin the game for me at all. Trust me, like I wasn't like, oh my god. But for me, it was just a little annoying. And some of the boss fights with the repeated steps is annoying. I don't know. And that is other games as well that will annoy me. But the open, and I was like, I want to get back into the open world and do shit because that's what I'll do the gameplay on. I want to do the gameplay when I do it on the open world, not a main mission. But it was fun. The fucking open world is fucking fantastic. It's not huge. But for Halo, it's like, man, finally, like it took too long for them to get to this point, honestly. Oh, you can find little things too. You can find banished audio logs, Marine audio logs. I think there's Spartan audio logs as well. Oh, you can also destroy propaganda towers that the Covenant has as well. Those are floating around all over the place. And the funny thing is, all the enemies talk, and the Marines talk as well. And they all say funny stuff. But the grunts say the weirdest shit. They're talking about like doing your mom and stuff. Like, oh, you play the Xbox, like random shit. Like, oh, he's done. I get next on the Xbox. Like random stuff like that, which is kind of funny. I always feel bad taking out the grunts for whatever reason. Oh, there's skulls too. You can find. They've been around forever. They can change difficulty in the levels or whatever. Do certain things. But there are little hidden things to find, like the audio logs and stuff like that as well. And you have your map. There's fast travel points to certain things as well that you can do, which is good. The voice acting's all solid. some of the voice, not the voicing, some of the lines are just like, the story doesn't do it for me in Halo much anymore. It kind of, after the first three, when those first three were done, and I really like Reach too, because that was the prequel, the glassing of Reach or whatever. And ODST was just a little side thing for 3, which I liked a lot. But I liked the story of the first Halo. I thought it was cool. Government comes and the Flood comes into the mix. You didn't know that was coming. I was hoping the Flood would come back in this one. They do talk about the Flood from time to time, but I was like, somebody bring back the fucking Flood. But the story just doesn't, it's like always like, oh, everything's at stake. Why couldn't it just be, oh, we're fighting the Banish. We got to take back the ring. There's no end of the world scenarios. We're taking back the ring. There's no hidden additional enemy that's going to come. Or do another one where you're on a ring and, oh my God, the Flood's still here. We got to take them out, you know? I don't know. But the story wasn't phenomenal for me. And some of the lines were kind of, but the voice acting's all solid. The game looks great. The game plays Halo, so you know it's going to be good. Regardless of who makes it. Halo's good. Great. New gadgets and stuff add to it. The environment's good. It's fun going around the environment and looking for stuff. And it's always cool when you have your group of Marines with you because it turns into a cool firefight, especially if you're going after a high value target. You got like you battle back and forth. It's awesome. I'd love to see more of that. To that extent, I mean, Halo Wars, you're going to get that because it's like a strategy game. I'm talking about like in this, like, kind of, it'd be cool. The vehicle's all controlled with the 2 thumbsticks, same way. If you haven't played it in a while, you have to get used to it. It was still great. I would give this game probably an 8.5. The ending, the end mission, that's going to be, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. And it's not even about the difficulty because I threw on heroic. It's the way they did the 2 boss fights with you beat them once, and now you got to do it again. Now you got to do, their shield bar keeps coming up because a thing is helping them. Kind of whatever, but even 9, I would go 8.59, somewhere in there, because the open world's cool. Story didn't do it for me. The end dragged a little too much. There's not really much actually wrong with the game though. So I would probably go maybe 8. Let's be 8.8. Let's go in between. Let's give it that Twilight Princess 8.8. But it's cool, Master Chief's still your straightforward character. He's not really much humor there and stuff, but he's a good character though. But yeah, it's a fucking enjoyable game. Play it. Play it on normal if you're not super into playing it on tougher difficulties because you get more aggravated like I did, but I was rewarding to beat it on that difficulty. Yeah, we'll say 8.8. But yeah, a really fun game. I'm going to do a gameplay on it. And thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.